At a camp in Lebanon in the 1960s, the psychologist Lutfi Diab sought to recreate one of social psychology's seminal studies, the Robber's Cave experiment. Devised back in 1954 by a husband and wife team in America, it had been designed to test the extent to which groups would naturally compete for resources when they were scarce, but then cooperate when presented with a shared goal. For his version, Diab mimicked the design of the initial study. He brought together a collection of 11-year-old Muslim and Christian boys and divided them randomly into two groups. Each chose a name, the Blue Ghosts and Red Genies. The plan was to assess first the two groups' tendency to compete and then their ability to cooperate. In the event, though, the experiment never reached phase 2. Diab had to abandon the study when the Red Genies team stole the penknife offered as a prize to the more successful group and threatened a member of the Blue Ghosts with it. Rather more recently in the United States, 3 friends were looking for rooms to rent in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, a city famous for its steel production, bridges, and universities. Their advertisement on Craigslist gave all the usual details about rent, cleanliness, and house rules they desired. It then gave an indication of the sort of flatmates they were hoping to find there. One might have expected a list of desired personal qualities and habits, but apart from a buried reference to cost, the main thrust of the advertisement was as follows. We are all open-minded, fun individuals, are open to all religions, genders, sexual orientations and races, no judgment here. However, we hate Trump. Such a sentiment isn't a one-off. According to a 2019 study among university students in the US, partisan preference is the biggest factor in determining who gets chosen as a roommate. Students said that they would rather live with someone who was not at all clean and tidy or preferred going to bed early than someone who supported the opposing party. Both the Lebanese children and the American students demonstrate a fundamental truth, that we form groups and craft shared identities sometimes according to the most trivial, often seemingly irrelevant criteria. It's a concept that has been widely studied and remarked upon down the ages. One of the earliest inquiries into the phenomenon by the North African polymath Ibn Khaldun even coined a term for it, asabiya. In his Muqaddimah of 1377, in which he sought to understand the forces that inform the rise and fall and developments within societies and political structures, Ibn Khaldun identified the way in which views and values spread over time beyond individual tight-knit family groups to incorporate other people. He also identified how, as an in-group develops, so it comes to create in its collective mind an out-group of people who are different. Khaldun argued that we seek to both maintain our collective solidarity and fight those we think threaten it. Rooted in our evolutionary development, the notion of asabiya survives to this day. As Amin Deen, who dramatically left Al-Qaeda and became an informant for the British intelligence service MI6, told us, the word asabiya is the solidarity that one feels with the group that they identify with. But sometimes we use the word asabiya to mean tribal solidarity, but in a negative way. You're not going to marry my daughter because you are from a different tribe. Once a group identity is adopted, it changes what we think and do. It also makes it harder to let go of beliefs as they become entwined with who we are. We can all view ourselves as holding multiple identities that may cross-cut one another. Mother, British, nurse, progressive/conservative, for example. As these identities become subsumed within labels that carry with them implications about wider attitudes and values, for example, gun owner or latte drinker, they can make us feel either attraction to or repulsion from others.